Alrighty, just dip that a bit. Hello, hello, good evening. Oh, didn't turn my light on. There we go. Alright, so we are working on trying to finish this bag that I started yesterday. Right on the trip. Alright, is our boxed corners. It's my opening. Alright, let's review the video and see what I need to do next. Excuse me. Okay, we did all this. When do I attach this? Okay, we're well past this. Well past all of that. That's making the boxed corners. Do the same thing to the lining, leaving an opening. Did that. Turn lining right side out. Spot to check to make sure it's going okay. Yeah, we're looking good. Stuff it inside. Stuff it inside the bag. Match the side seams. When do we attach this? Did I miss that stage? Yes, I must have, because attached there. Where do we attach the toppy thing? Bear with me here while I figure out when that. There, right there. Right there. We're just gonna add it now. Let's find the middle point. There. Bleh. Lost my clip. Good. All right. So now let's find back where I was. All right, let's do that. I'll take off the table so I have easier room. And I still so Okay. Sonnet. Whoa. Let's not throw scissors. All right. We're doing the flippy flip. Ba, ba, ba. What's okay? Right. I need to do some cleanup. Any other rogue strands? That's okay. This be the day. close up the opening, wherever that goes. Neater if I did it by hand, but it's the inside of a toddler bag. Not sure I actually care. That's pretty sure I can pop it inside now. Go iron the seam, I think. Hi, Calico Fox. Thank you very much. It's going to be a really cute little tiny backpack for my 3-year-old, for him to take some toys on some trips. Just finished turning it inside out. Gonna need to go give it a quick iron. Yeah, we're working on trying to increase his independence. So him being able to pick some of his own toys to bring. Plus, it's just really cute. How are you today? Hope you had a good weekend and a good Monday. Let's plug the iron in. Up. Right back there. Yeah, just ironing. There we go. Getting some writing done. You did some weaving earlier. Ooh, fun. I am doing good. I got quite a bit of knitting done earlier, which was always a pleasant surprise when I'm chasing a toddler around. Okay, so now I need to do the drawstring. I need to turn down that background a bit loud. So we're going to stitch a channel going all the way around. Where are my holes? There, here. Getting ready for a bit of an extended Easter trip. Be nice. Here, that one. We can elongate this. I don't want to be ahead of a stitch. Action. Yes. Go back to fix it now. All right. So that is the drawstring panel. Guess I gotta figure out what I'm gonna use for a drawstring. Have some ribbon. There's my bag of ribbons and stuff. Do I have enough of this? This is such a chaos mound. Strands of this. Probably going to be long enough to go around. That might be the winner. I have this cord. Do I have a second of the same thickness of cording? No, I don't. Is I think the answer here. Oh. That's blue? Is there blue in here? Random trim bundle. Okay. So option 1. If I only have one, this is not going to be a functional option. Yes, I think that one's probably my best option out of the junk that I have. There's nothing else in here that's better. It's pretty slippery. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be the best option. Back into the bag, bundle of cordage and ribbons. I'll put you back away later. I have my pin cushion. In this mess of pins, there will be a safety pin. All right. Do I want to do just a simple half and half drawstring? Or do it all the way around? I don't want to go all the way around. Back in. Okay, so I guess we're going to finish this a lot quicker than I expected to tonight. Figure out what the secondary project is going to be today. We could work on my cross stitch. My cross stitch doll, or we could work on my stitch along. We work on the shawl I've been knitting. I would rather cross stitch. And probably the stitch along. Okay. Alright. Let's get the other ribbon in for the other side. This around, and then we just have to finish the buckles on the strap and sew on the button. And we'll be done this little bag. The reason I thought it would take me longer today. It's nice because this will also challenge his skills with a drawstring and with a button. There are two things he needs to practice as well. So that'll be good. All right, straps. So put the buckle in. How do you? These don't really have a tension, do they? Not really. Okay, that will hold it. Something's not. How do you? Supposed to do these up. Why can't I figure out how buckles are supposed to work? Okay, that does hold. Okay. Sew the end on the strap. in twice. Try to stay consistent. All right. And then this folds over the top. Amy would have actually liked it to be. Let's do this whole knot. Make these strings substantially shorter. So they only need to be that long. It's even only need this long. It's open. So I'm going to pull it. Button needs to be button. There. Scientific method of attaching a button. Hey, I need a sewing needle. There happen to be one in this pile of mess? Or are these all just pins? I don't know if I can find. I'll do. Alright, let's sew a button. Rounds. Dirty. Right. Button. Pull strands. I think that'll do the trick. I think that turned out super cute for a first little backpack. I do like that I got the padded arm shoulders. Nice big chunky button. Opens up to just a good deep pocket for a handful of toys. I think that turned out all right. Thank you very much, Calico. So I'm going to just do a very quick BRB to alter our setup here into cross stitch. And we're going to work on my the stitch along I've been doing. Because we didn't do that last night. Normally we do that Sunday nights. So at least we can try and catch up a little bit tonight. So I will be right back. Thank you very much for the follow, Cal. All right, just finishing getting this back in my frame. Also had to adjust my frame. So this is our book club stitch along. We are a little over a month behind on it. We're still working on March's release. Those who haven't seen it, I need to rotate camera. Sources. Let's go into studio mode. Let me do it there. Transform. Oh, that was wrong. Still upside down. That's better. Okay, hook it onto my mount. Let's finish adjusting the camera. And we can bring you guys closer now. Actually push it a little more. Out? Yeah, push it out. Closer to me. There we go. All right. Where were we at? Let's pull up the pattern. Let's put my little friend here. Aha. Uh, all right. Okay, last time I had just finished stitching this color. Let's put that away. So we have some boring white to stitch. Get that out of the way really quick. Where did my tiny scissors go? Are those missing now too? Just disappear. His arm starts here. I should change my, not that anyone looks at them, but oop, no, wrong button. I'm not trying to raid out now. I was trying to change stream title. There, updated. Getting a project done in, let's see, started sewing that backpack and doing the cutting out and whatever at 7:30 yesterday. I worked on it for about 2 hours yesterday, about an hour today. Not bad. Definitely could be done quicker and more streamlined. But first time making that particular backpack, so it's a bit slower. It's really fast. See, that feels slow to me for what that was. Well, I wasted a lot of time looking back over the YouTube tutorial I was following for the pattern and stuff like that. So removing a bunch of that time will make it go a lot quicker. And like hunting for random materials because I was just kind of making it with scraps I had on hand. So having to dig through piles of stuff to find what I needed. That I think it definitely could be made easily under 2 hours if you know what you're doing and have all the supplies on hand ahead of time. I might make more of them. I might just do a few tweaks to the pattern when I make another one. I liked using the heavy like drapery cotton canvas because it meant I didn't need to interface most of it. So that's nice. Skips a whole layer of ironing and whatever. The only spot I interfaced was the shoulder straps. I gave them a little padding on the inside. But I would like to make that flap along the top of the bag that kind of covers the drawstring. I'd like to make that a little longer. Feels a little disproportionately small. And then maybe a little like front pocket or something. I mean, I am fervently against the whole like any craft being magic. It's just about putting in the time and practice to learn. But of all of the like fiber crafts and different crafts that involve textiles and stuff like that, I appreciate that sewing is the quickest. Yeah, in a skill exhibited kind of way. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's just one of those like weird pet peeve things. But like people are always like, I don't know. I find like the whole like talent thing negates how much work goes into things and learning a skill. For people to just think that you're oh naturally talented in it. That's kind of one of my own little personal gripes. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, like me saying I can make that bag in less than 2 hours is very different from me saying anybody could make that bag in 2 hours. Just depends on your comfort level with sewing. It definitely could be done. It's pretty straightforward that one because it's very few curves or weird things. Just like cross stitch, for example, here is when you see a finished project is gorgeous and kind of mind blowing sometimes, but like if you can even remotely count, you can do it. And even now there's patterns printed on canvas, so you don't even have to count. Okay, I'm gonna just leave the white set aside here. Well, I do another color. So I'm gonna have to use the white again right over here where there's a book. But I don't want to have to count, so I'm not gonna. I need to do 754. Got hands and his face to fill in. This Calco, this is a cross stitch that is a monthly stitch along. So every month the designer is releasing a new piece, and it is a bookcase full of all kinds of different authors. Currently, we're working on March's release, which is Edgar Allan Poe. Yes, it is Poe. Right down below, you can see just her head here was Jane Austen. And we've previously done Mary Shelley and Tolkien. I usually work on this project every Sunday night, but because I wanted to get that backpack done, I set it aside so I could get that backpack started. So we're doing a bit of a catch up here. Yeah, whenever we start a new author, I don't tell people who it is to try and guess the game of trying to guess who it is. The Raven was pretty much the point that made it very obvious. I'll be honest, cross stitch is a lot simpler than like true freeform embroidery is, because you're only really ever doing 1 to 2 stitch types. And sometimes a little more, but most of the time it's just crosses, X's, and some backstitch. Every once in a while a French knot or something like that. But so it can get very repetitive. But you can get some really cool things done in cross stitch. In particular, I tend to make a lot of toys out of cross stitch. Actually, sell cross stitch toys on my shop. I've really been enjoying discovering a world of cross stitch things that aren't just wall hangings and like pictures. All the different ways you can use it to make other things. Just finished making this little dude who's a couple threads off him here, who I crocheted, and he is going to be the holder of all of my little cut-off threads. I'm going to stitch the threads into him to make his hair. So any cut-off threads from various cross-stitch projects that I'm working on will go to being his hair, if they're long enough to get any kind of stitch in. Sometimes cutoffs aren't long enough to do that. But he's gonna be super cute and random and fun. He's my new little mascot. See how crazy we can get his hair over the next little while. Trying to come up with a name for him. I've got a few suggestions so far. We've had the suggestion of just Bob, which I think is cute. We also have the suggestions of Donaire or Tortier. Scoot. That's a dangerous one when you're a Canadian. Feels like it's like a bout or a boot. Not because not because of any bad word or anything. It's just Canadians get made fun of all the time for about a boot. It scoot feels too close to that. That's why Donair and Torchier were recommended. They are Canadian, well, or at least strongly associated with Canada words. There's something stabbing this clip. You said you don't sew much. What do you do? Fiber crafts at all, or do you do other art? Oh, right, you said you were weaving earlier. That's right. I already forgot because I have a bad memory. I've been dabbling a little bit in weaving. I do own a giant floor loom, but I've nowhere near enough room to set it up to really truly learn how to use it. It was given to me by a friend whose parents had it but never used it. It was just like an antique that sat in a corner. I do also spin, but haven't in a while. A lot of my crafting has been limited because of my young little dude. Yeah, spinning is pretty fun. I used to knit a ton. I've had to lean off knitting a little bit because I've developed carpal tunnel. But I still do it occasionally. I just have to balance it a little more. Can't just go ham knitting all the time. It's kind of why I started picking up more cross stitch. Cross stitch doesn't aggravate my carpal tunnel the same way. And then I just recently picked crochet back up. I hadn't crocheted in years, but hanging out with all the wonderful fiber artists on Twitch has made me want to play with crochet again. So the first crochet thing I made in years is that little mascot dude. So, kind of joked that if it involves thread or string in any way or at all, I want to learn how to do it. And I may eventually actually get there. We'll see. I mean, tatting is definitely on the list in the near future. I would like to do some crocheted lace and some tatting. But there's only so much time right now. Where am I here? So it's going to be back it here with one. That thread should be long enough. To my friend. We're done with this skin color file. Oh, I am sorry. No problem. Thanks for hanging out, though. Hopefully your headache starts to feel better soon. I need to tighten this up a little more. Slide mode. Mm-hmm. Stitches look invisible. Ecru stitches on an ecru background. Alright, we'll come back to that ecru later. Just counting and messing it up. This white back up. Now we've got some reference points to do the white off of. We are shortly going to be calling it an end of the night. Getting tired. Pin this off. Thread. The huge scissors. Let's mark the stitches that we did. We didn't get a ton done on this tonight, but it was only a secondary project, so we still got 100 stitches done. That's not bad. Let's go see who's online that we can say hello to. Switch to my ending soon screen. Let's see. Is there anyone in Makers we haven't met yet that we want to go say hi to? Let's go say hi to Positively. Go see what cool beading thing they are up to. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. See you next time.